The FujiCast is an independent loading zone production.
Tuesday, 5th of May.
The FujiCast.
Hello, welcome to the FujiCast, the daily photo show that was weekly, but during this lockdown, stay-at-home time, it's daily until we're allowed to go back out and play again. It's a show about our lives as picture makers, a show which does include Fujifilm stuff and questions, yes, but you can shoot whatever flavour of camera you like. And as it's a Tuesday, Kev, guess what day it is? Well, guess what we do on a Tuesday, rather.
Tech-Free Tuesday!
Tech-Free Tuesday, you're absolutely right. I've got a couple of things I'd like to just say quickly while I remember, though. I wrote them down here, like little shopping list reminders. Shopping? What shopping? Phil Payne had a birthday yesterday. He was divided by 4 times 8, divided by 31. So, happy 31st birthday, Phil Payne, friend of the show. And I wanted to check as well that you've downloaded Rocket League, Kev, because my Jack asked whether you were ready as a family to go into battle with Albie's new Xbox.
We have downloaded it, yes. I haven't actually figured it out yet so far. All I've done is try to play FIFA football with him, and my fingers and feet and toes and things do not seem to understand where those buttons go.
Are you being properly dad-like, playing the Xbox?
Yeah, I love it. It's great, though, I have to say. Wales v Arsenal, Newport County versus Brazil. Amazing.
What you want to do, we have a competition where we choose the lowest rated teams we can possibly find from whatever country. And play Barcelona. But yeah, you must. Rocket League is the game, or the kids are playing, and we can do a split screen on it, and it could be your family versus our family. It might be slightly unfair because Jack's been playing it for well over a year now, and he whops my backside every single time we play, and I just get, "Oh, Dad, you're so slow. Oh, don't you know how to do an aerial yet?" And all that kind of stuff. So I did say, look, if we play the Mullins's, you have to remember that they will not have the head start that you've got, and you know, maybe you should go easy to start with. But he doesn't quite understand that. So I'm suggesting the next thing is we have a handicap of at least 10-0 to you before we start.
Oh, he's that good, is he? Mind you, in fairness, I don't believe in going easy either.
Oh, right then. Okay, that's it.
Straight in.
All out. Stand by for a lesson in
First game I played in FIFA with Albie, within 5 seconds I had a red card.
Oh no, did you? Oh, what's that? When you what were you?
Dad, you trying to break my legs?
Were you doing slide tackles?
Yeah, that's the X button. That's the best way to do tackling. I love it.
I think if you go, don't you get down to 7 or 8 players and the match is abandoned?
Yeah, I think it's 9, isn't it? In real life, anyway. I think if you have 3 red cards, that's it. It's a 6-0 deficit.
Oh, brilliant.
Anyway, back to Phil Payne. I don't really want to wish him a happy birthday.
Why?
Because he called me the other day on my mobile phone at about 7:30 in the morning, just as I was, kind of getting myself into life.
Yeah.
Ring. All right, Phil. All right, Kev.
I'm
off to work.
He was on his way. He was on his way to the BBC, wasn't he? Where he works in engineering at the moment.
He rang me up at ridiculous o'clock in the morning to tell me all about his lovely new job.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, nice to you, nice lovely new job. All the cheery he was. I was like, all right, Phil, you know what time it is, Phil? He's like, oh, it doesn't matter. No, bless him. It's lovely to speak to him. Yeah. So happy birthday, Phil.
Happy birthday, Phil. And also a mention for Cameron Neville, who has been on the show before. He is this tremendous force of photography when it comes to making those pictures of the fires. And he's also a firefighter, of course. He's also a firefighter. So he's fighting the fires and photographing the fires, and I just wanted to give him a mention today, because I'm reminded as well, because I spoke to Russell Ord, who's the amazing surf photographer. The pictures are just incredible. I mean, this guy, he waits in the surf. I got the word wrong. I said, "Do you look down the funnel?" He said, "No, mate, I think you'll find that's a tunnel." So he looks. In one word, I proved just how little I know about surfing. But I said to Russell, I tell you what, I'm not sure. I mean, despite the fact that he's a blindingly good surfer himself, He goes 15k offshore. We're talking about Southwest Australia, okay? He goes 15 kilometres. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. And he said to me, this is Australians all through and through, isn't it? And I'll come back to camera for something else he said. When he said, don't worry about the sharks, he said, listen, there's car accidents every day. You still get in your car. And he said, shark. He said, that it's overblown. I don't know whether and it'd be that blasé. And Cameron, I was speaking to Cameron, and he's doing alongside his photography at the moment. He's actually a really good gardener as well. There's all these multi-skilled Australians, and I said, "Don't you find that you got snakes? If you're rooting around rooting means something very different, doesn't it? In Australian, sorry." If you're sort of digging around in the plants in Australia, you're going to come across snakes, and they have 9 of the 10 most venomous snakes in the world. And he said, I see them, but they're made of different stuff, aren't they, Australians?
We're going to need a bigger boat.
That's America. Anyway, you ready for some questions?
Yeah, let's go.
Tech Free Tuesday. What have I got here?
Well, while you're rooting around in your
I got
packet of letters, I had a lovely little postcard this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, very nice. Kind of Winnie the Pooh on the front. And Jem was like, oh, look, you've got a little postcard. I haven't had a postcard I can't remember the last time I had a postcard. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not very popular. Anyway, it says, to Kevin, loving the podcast, cheeky little request. Any chance for a shout out for my Instagram channel, which is at Bubs Pictures. BUBSPICTURES.
Oh, it's Bubs. That's our boy, Thomas.
It's Thomas. He goes on to say, I know your listeners would love my pictures. Cheers, Kev.
Oh, isn't that funny? He sent you a postcard. Oh,
He sent me a postcard.
Sam must have been in on that one.
I'm sure, perhaps.
He's on a PR drive at the moment to up his subscribers to his Instagram channel, which is all about trains. I'll tell you what, he's getting to be a good photographer, is our Thomas.
Yes. Well, I already subscribe to it, so I see his pictures. But anybody who wants to support your little Thomas, Bubs Pictures is their Instagram link.
Bubs Pictures.
Bubs Pictures.
Do you know that does make sense? Because the other day he said, do you think Kevin would like to do a collab? And I said, what? He's talking about collabs. He's got the language of an Instagrammer and a YouTuber. I said, that's what YouTubers do. And he said, I know. He said, I'll ask you to do one, but Kevin's got so many more subscribers, Daddy. No offence.
If he wants me to do a collab with him, will I have to wear my baseball cap on backwards or something?
Absolutely, and go train spotting.
I have to get a skateboard. Get a skateboard with only one wheel or something. Yeah. What do they call it? One-wheelers.
One-wheelers, yeah. Right, let's do a question. Hi, Neil. Hi, Kev. Congrats on becoming the 100 Club podcast show, catching up fast on the Archers. Actually, you're now outdoing the Archers, who've had to stop recording episodes. So go for it, boys. So he's got 3 questions. This is Andrew Higgins. 3 questions. I thought I'd save. I'd do 1 and would save 2 back. Do you want to choose 1, 2, or 3?
1.
1. Workshops.
2.
Your own careers.
3.
The third one would be about what does photography mean to you? It's quite an in-depth one. Should we go for these?
Let's go for 1.
Right. Okay, workshops. When I was getting into photography way back in my school days, there was hardly any mention of photography workshops. I avidly read amateur photographer and books instead. The only workshop I can recall was The Photographer's Place, a highly regarded residential centre in Derbyshire run by Paul Hill, I think running quite academic rather than beginners courses. Now there are hundreds of courses and hundreds of workshops everywhere, run by everybody. So what does the panel think about the boom in these? Obviously a new source of income for photographers, but call me a grumpy old thing or devil's advocate. Surely participants should go and do photography, learn from doing or reading books, looking at other photographers' work. Your thoughts? Coming from 2 people that present workshops. Is he talking about the kind of workshops we do? I suppose he is.
Could be a veiled email, that.
Could be, couldn't it?
Could be. Next time, he should write me a postcard.
What do you think?
What's your thoughts? I have some pretty strong thoughts.
Yeah, look, I don't think workshops are a bad thing at all. I think it's a good way to learn from people who've got experience. I would only ever go to a workshop if I thought I was going to glean something from somebody who's got some experience and has been working in it for a while. For example, I would never go on a business workshop with a business coach that learned about learn about coaching business, because there are courses where they say, right, this is what you need to teach people that want to learn business. I'd rather go and listen to, I'm going to pull a wild example in, but yeah, I'd go and pay and listen to Alan Sugar, because he's been in business. And he's,
exactly.
You know,
a business coach that learned how to be a business coach from a business coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
somebody who learned business by making mistakes, doing it the hard way, winning and losing. I'd rather go and learn from somebody like that, because I think there's value to be had.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was in university all those years ago, our head of faculty was a guy, a gnarly old businessman, because it was a business kind of faculty, and his name was Sadri Gilani, Asian guy. And I remember him once stood there. We used to once a month on a Thursday evening, we all had to go to a lecture with him the whole year. And we all had to wear suits and everything, which was a nightmare. And he was like, this is what it'll be like in the business world. You wear a suit. Yeah. So we all had to wear suits. And of course, I looked like a bag of nails. You know, none of my suits fitted or anything. Anyway, I remember him once.
Are you still wearing the same ones for your weddings?
I still got. And I vividly remember this. He stood there one night and he said, look, he said, you will be good business people because you're on a good business course. You will go out, you will fail again, you will fail, then you will succeed, then you'll succeed some more, right. Then you'll succeed, then you'll get bored, and then you'll come to a university like I did. That's what he said. He was bloody good as a business lecturer, though.
But what about the photography courses? Come back on track with the photography courses. What are your strong? Because you said you had some strong thoughts. What are your strong thoughts on photography courses? My thoughts echo yours, actually, in that I wouldn't. There is a whole load of people who shoot for 6 months and then set up courses, and often they start them off with. Getting started with your camera type courses, and that's fine, right? If you've been using your camera for a long time, but there's no way that you should. If you've shot 10 weddings, there's no way should you be offering workshops or education to people who based on the back of 10 weddings. It's just not right. And in my mind, I believe it's at least 5 years worth of industry graft before you should be entitled to offer training workshops and stuff like that. So I agree with with the comment that there is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, of which many are very good, but a vast majority of the ones that are out there at the moment are pretty ropey, I think. You got a whole load of these get rich quick schemes you see them on Facebook all of the time. Click here to download the PDF on how to become the best wedding photographer in the world. You click the link, and then at the end of the link it says, here's your PDF, 2 pages of bump. Now click here to buy page, section 2, how to run the accounts of your business, blah, blah, blah. And it's like a rabbit warren of money just going into someone else's throat. Mm. And you also you also have the photographers who actually just want to be rock stars. They don't want to work. They don't want to. They're more interested in the speaking scene and the speaking circuit, and and wearing their baseball caps backwards and standing on stage and saying, "Look how great my life is." And usually at the end they cry a little bit, just to, for a little bit of emotional effect. Okay. That's a load of up as well. Yeah. Because nobody wants to pay. You shouldn't pay to go to listen to a speaker to stand there to tell you how great their stuff is. You want to learn. You have to be educated, and and there's so much of it. So you have to be very, very careful. Look at the reviews, look at the feedback. Speak to the people, email them, see what you're going to get, and just understand the fact that ultimately, my question I would email them and say, how long have you been in business in this particular area? How many weddings you've shot if it's weddings? What's your commercial footprint if it's commercial photography? Whatever. 5 years is I think a minimum. We had a question last week which was talking about courses and workshops, and I mentioned Joe Busing, because we've both been to the Jeff Ascoff ones. I've never, even though I've been to 3 of them, I think I saw him say pretty similar things all 3 occasions. For me, I needed some validation on a couple of points, and that really helped me, and it was worth every penny I spent. Plus, you can't deny that Jeff, of course, has got oodles of knowledge and has worked with pretty darn good clients as well, so he knows what he's talking about. But of all the people that I've ever listened to, Joe Busink, I think, taught me the most in terms of the way he talks about people. I thought that was a really interesting angle. He talked about clients, and for me, that was probably the best business course, although I'm not sure he would think of it as a business course, the best business workshop that I've ever been on.
Yeah, you only need to get one golden nugget, don't you, really, for it to be worthwhile, as long as it's not overpriced. And you know, you're right about people like Jeff. We both of us went on, I think, 3 of them, and the content was very similar, but actually you come away from each one with Jeff's workshops thinking, yeah, I'm inspired, and I actually learned stuff, whether it was editing or whether it was, you know, clients handling, whatever, it doesn't matter, but it was still an educational thing. And also, what you have to remember with these things is some people like Jeff, people like Joe, people like myself to a certain extent, and possibly even you, that is part of their business now. So part of their business, yes, the majority is shooting weddings, but the rest, the part of it is to move that into an income stream for education. Now, when it becomes a proper part of your business and it's in your business model, you have to do it well, and you have to do it with integrity, and you have to do it for the whole point of of what it's called, and that's education. It's not there as some kind of vanity thing. It shouldn't be there as if I do a couple of crappy little workshops, I could buy myself a new camera. I'll find some mugs to come along. It should be you give your blood and soul, and you tell everybody what they need to know, and hopefully they will go off and do the right thing.
I also think you should get your money back if the person facilitating it says the word awesome, personally.
Yeah.
Oh, you just said awesome. I want all my money back. I'm leaving now.
Yeah.
Emily Renier, friend of the show. What have you learned about yourselves as people whilst being photographers? Are there aspects of your personalities or ethics that have changed thanks to or because of photography?
Well, shall I try and do some more random sounds?
Here's one.
I don't know whether it's because of, I don't know. It's really tough, isn't it? I think I've become more of definitely more of an understanding of the dynamics of people and the relationships between people.
People building skills, then, or just people skills. Full stop. No, understanding people.
Well, I wouldn't say my people skills are any better, but my observation of people's skills, the people together, is better.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that had I never picked up a camera, I would still be the same person as I am now. Put it that way.
Right.
But I do definitely feel that, you know, I have a much more a grander understanding of kind of memories and nostalgia, and, you know, thinking about the future and future generations and what will be left. I'm forever saying to people, you know, friends and stuff, whenever I try and take pictures of them, say, don't take a picture of me, don't take a picture of me.
Yeah.
I just say to them, now I'm totally blunt about it, say, when you're dead, your kids will have no pictures of you.
You don't say that.
I do. I say it to their face. I say it to my mum all the time. When you're dead, we'll have no pictures. What do you think of that?
It will serve you right.
And so who are you spiting?
Yeah.
All you're doing, your own ego and vanity is getting in the way of your future generations having memories of you.
When you started with photographing on the street and also photographing at weddings in a photojournalist style, were you very, very different to the way you are now when somebody said, oh, don't take a picture of me, I don't want it, or turned away purposefully, or did that dying swan act because you dare lift your 56mm in their direction? Have you changed the way that you react to that? Or is that the way you react to it now? You'll have no pictures when you're dead.
I'm more experienced, for sure. My gut feeling is the same. My gut feeling is, ooh, why are you behaving like this? Your kids will have no pictures when you're dead. But my experience, I behave in a more experienced way now, or I deal with it in a more experienced way, for sure. But yeah, I think, you know, from a photographic point of view and how it's affected me personally, I mean, it's given me it's opened a lot of doors, of course, and I've seen a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have, that I've still been sat behind a desk in the bank programming websites, you know, although I wouldn't probably be thinking about giving my car back right now.
Absolutely not. Right, one more question, then we'll do we'll mop up last week's photo challenge and also set a brand new caption one. Let's go for Mark Dell. Hi guys, love the show, yada yada yada. My question as a friend of the show is, he called himself a friend of the show. You can't just you can't sort of announce yourself as a friend of the show. You have
Mark's a friend of the show.
Is he?
Yeah, let's give him it.
You have to be announced. Is he now officially a friend of the show?
Yeah.
All right, then. Round of applause for Mark Dell. Kevin, it seems on this show, your show partner does seem to suggest that you are grumpy. Moi? When you did Jack and Hayley's wedding, you didn't seem grumpy. Is this something you're aware of? I think we've had a question like this. He's snuck one in again, I think. Also, am I dreaming? Or did you write a piece for a magazine entitled Kevin Mullins Turned Professional? I can remember reading it, and the quote at the end was, I am Kevin Mullins, and I am now a professional wedding photographer. Keep up the good work, from Mark.
Well, you see, this is when you said then about Mark Della, you can't announce yourself as a friend of the show. I was thinking, careful, Neil, because you were my second shooter. We shot that wedding together of his son. And I was thinking, do you remember when we shot that in Kate, Oxfordshire, something or other?
Oh, was that the...
Jack and Hayley, yeah. So he was dad.
I take that.
I was thinking, I was going, no, Neil. Shh,
no,
shh.
Who wants Mark as a friend of the show? Yes. Obviously.
Mimi.
I would... Me? No, it's not a Mimi, it's a...
Meme.
You've got to get this right.
Mimi.
Right. So, sorry, Mark. Yes, of course you're a friend of the show. Big time. So, I don't suggest you're grumpy, do I?
Well, most people do, in fairness. But,
I don't think I do.
You know,
I think I chortle at your grumpiness sometimes. It amuses me.
I play up to it as well, I have to say, I must admit. But weddings, Gemma does say to me, I remember the first time I told Gemma I wanted to be a wedding photographer, she was like, whoa, where are you going to get your personality from? You can't buy a personality off the shelf, you know.
But no, I think it's a concentration face, though, isn't it? Eh?
Resting face.
Well, resting face, yeah, because I had that right at the start of the year when I was still shooting weddings. I remember a client saying to me, "You all right, Neil? You look a bit bored." I thought, no, I'm not bored at all. I've got what Kev would call his resting face. It's obviously rubbing off on me. What about the other question, by the way? The magazine entitled Kevin Mullins was a piece from a magazine called Kevin Mullins Turns Professional. Do you remember that piece?
I do. In fact, so that was back in 2008 when we had the recession.
Right.
I set up my business right then.
Happy days.
Happy days, yeah, when we only had a recession rather than a global catastrophe.
I know.
I set up my business, and I don't know how it occurred, but for some reason, Professional Photographer magazine, which in those days was still being printed and was was the mainstream kind of photography magazine.
Very good magazine, actually. Yeah.
They approached me.
Paul Sanders was involved in that, wasn't he?
Paul Sanders was picture editor for the Times, and then moved on to. He might have been with Professional Photography.
I think he worked for PP for a while. Yeah, I'm sure he did.
But it was at the time. The editor at the time was Grant Scott, I think.
Sorry, yes, you're right, Grant Scott. Yeah, but I'm sure Paul was involved. Anyway, sorry, go on.
So they said, "Can you write an article about how to set up a business, or why you set up your business during a recession?"
Right.
Which I did, and they printed it, 4 pages, and then. Actually, it was Adam Scory at the time was the editor, and then Grant Scott was the next editor, and then he went on to Emma Lily Pendleton, and then somebody else probably. So anyway, Adam Scory, who ran me up after that article, he said, "That was really good, really enjoyed that. Do you think you could do a monthly business column for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then I did that for 4 years.
Yeah, I know you were in there for a while.
Article in Professional Photographer magazine. Yeah, but it was all about business and finance and all that stuff.
But you're very good at that sort of stuff. You are so good. I've always thought you. I mean, whenever you talk to me about business, I'm thinking I must be more diligent, like Kev, with all these spreadsheets and stuff.
I tell you what I might do if I can find the old Word documents. I might breathe some life into those on our new Fujicast website on the blog section.
Because I remember you writing and thinking, oh, Kev is switched on.
The Daily Show Photo Challenge. Right.
So from last week, we had another daily photo challenge. Now on the Monday we had pictures of the number one, and on the Tuesday it didn't get much more inventive, actually, did it?
Number two.
Yeah. People were a little bit worried what some might actually present on that particular one, but people were generally well behaved.
I could see that people's apathy towards the theme was similar to mine.
By then, yeah.
We didn't have so many entries.
I think you were hammering in the final nails at that point, weren't you? Really, to that feature.
I feel like not many of them were photographed on the day that we announced it either. Some of them might have been. There's some nice ones. I like Paul Balaresque's picture of his 2 dog paw prints in the snow and the sand. Joe Miranda, a lovely little picture of a couple walking along a beach. That was nice. But I think the one that I liked the most, I was right at the very, 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 very bottom, the last one, and it was Scott Rollins, and it was titled "The Two Last Onions." Nice black and white, suits me down to the ground. 2 onions, good-looking onions they are as well.
Of all the onions I've seen today, you're the best looking.
Yeah, nice composed on a nice little wooden shelf, white background.
Nice job.
So Scott Rollins, your 2 little onions.
Well done. We've got our caption competition. This might actually last less than the Daily Photo Challenge, because it is very difficult to get people to send in pictures of there. They think, oh, do I feel confident enough to send this in? Will it attract a caption? Yes, it will. Give it a go. Send it. Click.
We've had some.
Click. Well, we have had some. Yeah. Click at fujicast.co.uk. Send that in. What we do is we'll announce it today, and then we'll have the winners, or rather the captions that we most like, in a couple of days' time will be mentioned on the website fujicast.co.uk. Chosen one today from a listener called Alan Mermelstein, and it's a picture of a chap on a bike looking back at a hoarding board for a gallery sign, and there's a sort of interaction between him and the attractive model on the hoarding sign. I think you're allowed to say something like that, aren't you? Yeah. So anyway, there's your caption. You will see it on the Facebook group today, the Fujicast Facebook group, and we'll give you a couple of days to come up with your captions. Right, last question.
What was his name, did you say? Something Mermelstein.
Alan Mermelstein, yeah.
Alan. I wonder if he's related to Jeff.
What, Mermelstein?
Yeah, very, very famous photographer. Jeff Mermelstein.
Right.
Yeah, street photographer.
Oh, street photographer, right, okay.
Jeff Mermelstein was born in 1957 in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and studied at Rutgers College and the International Centre of Photography.
An education. Final question for Tech Free Tuesday. I like the Tech Free Tuesdays, by the way.
I do.
Although
we should do Tech Free Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays.
No, we had to have some tech. But we do roll in some tech-free questions during the week as well. But it's strictly tech-free on a Tuesday. Graham Keithley. Kev, give us your recipe for Welsh cakes. Just because he's Welsh doesn't mean he knows how to cook up a Welsh cake.
This is how I get perfect Welsh cakes.
Go on then.
Really, really simple. I say, Rosa, Rosa, can you make me some of those lovely Welsh cakes? You know, like the ones Nanny does.
And is she good? Is she good?
Yeah, she's a great little cook. I've just been her and Gemma have gone off for a long dog walk. Albie and I decided we'd stay at home. Yeah. And
do some gaming.
And I've polished off the rest of the birthday cake.
Oh, did you know? Well, both of you?
No, I didn't let Albie have any.
It's his birthday cake, Kev.
Well, his birthday was on Saturday. It's Tuesday now.
So you're stealing his birthday cake in much the same fashion than you steal his Easter eggs.
No, that's not true, because I steal his Easter eggs before Easter. I steal his birthday cake after his birthday.
Man has no shame at all. Well, that's it for today. Tomorrow's tomorrow's not just another day. Tomorrow is your book. So you need to go and find a book that we can afford. Or a book that's just brilliant that people are going to look up. So the book's tomorrow, and your questions, as always, send them in to click@fujicast.co.uk. And Kev, see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
The Fujicast is an independent loading zone production.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.